Alright guys, welcome back to the Heat Beat Garage YouTube channel. So, today, the agenda, the red Jeep. Basically, I pulled this thing in here to go ahead and do some basic maintenance on it and whatnot. I went to work yesterday, and the way there and the way back, I wasn't quite feeling right as far as power and stuff on the heels like it usually is. Which this thing don't have a crazy amount of power anyway because of the big old 35s that it's got on it and the 8-inch lift and whatnot. But it just didn't feel the way it needed to feel, basically rolling through the gears. Because most of the time I can hold fifth, and I wasn't able to hold fifth. So I did some quick checks on some stuff that I had. Like I said, it was pretty cold down our way, so I went ahead and checked the coolant. And it's nice and green and whatnot. It was a little low, so I was going to do some basic checks on it. Looked at the coolant. Coolant's fine. Battery needed to be charged, so I went ahead and pulled the battery out. And I pulled this dipstick out. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that is 100% a milkshake in the oil. So, that's not good. Basically, this thing needs a head gasket. I didn't get to film a video on it, but basically when I picked this thing up, this whole passenger side engine mount and stuff that's over here, actually the bolts broke off the side of the block, and this whole engine was flipped over this direction. That's why this ratchet strap and whatnot's still here. I could put a head gasket on this thing, but the bolts in the block are still screwed up. I actually went and made a custom engine mount. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's down there. And it's basically just bolts to the front side of this engine, which is not the correct way to do it. So because this thing's got a blown head gasket, yes, I could put another head gasket on this thing, but the valve cover, that bolt's broke, this one's broke, two more in the backside there are broke, another one in the backside that there's broke, and this thing leaks oil very heavily. The valve cover bolts that are in it are stripped out, and they're broke off flush with the head, so there's kind of no point in me repairing what we have here. So I know we had kind of been hinting about doing a 5-3 swap in this Jeep, and this is the block. This is the block that we kind of been slowly building in the background. That's gonna go ahead and start taking place of this inline 6 that's in here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing torn down. This is usually a pretty simple process if you've done it a couple times, which I have. But it's going to be uniquely challenging because the guy who had this before me, he welded the bumper on. So without this bumper removed, I can't get the cherry picker in here tight enough to go ahead and get my load leveler and whatnot on here so I can yank this motor and transmission. I'm going to have to cut that somehow, cut it, grind it, whatever, off the side of the frame mounts here so I can get this bumper off, so I can get the header panel off, so I can get core support off, so I can get all the radiator and junk out the way, so that way I can go ahead and get my engine hoist in here at an angle that's not going to get stuck. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and start pulling off these 4 13mm bolts that are on the hood here. Go ahead and drop it all in the spot. It's really tight for you to get to. That's how you start any good project right there. And it's got shims on it, basically to shim up the hood and stuff here. I'm gonna just go ahead and set the bolts on the back side on the cowl. Oh, about this bracket and whatnot right here. This is OSHA approved, in case any of y'all was wondering. And that's how you do that. Make sure it falls exactly where you was planning on it to go. Just like that. Don't forget the shims that you dropped in the bolt down here. I should be able to just swing this up here on top of the Jeep and it'll be fine. Just go ahead and set that up there where it'll fall later and break your windshield. I've already pulled out these headlight bezels. Alright, so basically there's a bolt up here, bolt up here. Go ahead and remove those two. And then your headlight bezel literally pull up and out your way. And then there's another bolt hole here and another one right there. And what we're trying to get to is that 10 mil nut that's right there by my pointer finger. And then you're gonna have two up here at the top, one on the back side, one stud all the way across. It's gonna have nuts on it all the way across here. And literally you can just, they're all 10 mil. So it'll be really easy as soon as you find your socket. But it's the same exact thing over here. 2 bolts. This lower turn signal housing comes out, and then you can go ahead and get to your 10 mil bolt, or excuse me, nut that's back there. Get your 10 mil set up on your small impact gun or whatever your fancy is, and go ahead and grab your screwdriver. The wrong screwdriver. Strip those bolts out. This one's a little bigger. Should fit in this screw a little bit better. Like I said, you're just gonna pull it down like that, so that way you can just get to it with the impact gun. Pull that out the way real quick. Just like that. Go ahead and put those in a place you'll lose them for the next 6 months. I like to put them in the Jeep, so that way they stay with the vehicle. You can bag them or you can do whatever. Basically, what you're gonna do now, you're gonna pry this back a little bit. There's gonna be a connector on the inside here. It's supposed to have a little red tab and then a push right here. I don't know if y'all can see that. Push on this tab and kind of pull on it. There you go. Just like that. And that is your whole entire harness for this whole entire header panel. So once you've unplugged that, you can literally just take this whole entire header panel and set it inside the Jeep or on your parts shelf or wherever you want. You can go ahead and put the whole thing up. Alright, now once you've done that, you should be able to just pull this red plug out that's right here. You just push it like that. There's a locking tab right here. Push on it, pull it at the same time, and it should come off. If you have a shroud, which I do not, there usually be a shroud in here. You got to remove these 2 8 mil bolts, but I don't have that, so I can just go ahead and pull this whole thing up and out just like that, and that way you can see the whole top of the radiator and the AC condenser and all that stuff's right there. Go ahead and place this whole entire thing either on the Jeep or in the Jeep, depending on how long the project's going to sit. Should be able to just remove these 2 nuts on either side for your AC bracket, or excuse me, your AC condenser. So now we just got to go ahead and drain the coolant. There's a petcock that you can get to real nice and easy now. It's right here. Basically just pop your radiator cap off so that way the flow is more better, and then go ahead and put your bucket under here and twist this loose. Let all the coolant drop down into your bucket of choice. All right, went ahead and got my bucket. Go ahead and pop my cap off. Spill about 72% of that on the floor. When it stops flowing fast, you can go ahead and get you like a roll of duct tape, prop it up on this here corner up under the radiator, and it'll just pull all that coolant down to that opening that you have down there. From here, we're gonna go ahead and do is loosen up this 15 mil bolt that's right here, and then tensioning bolt that's right here. When you loosen this, you're gonna go ahead and loosen that, and that basically just puts tension on your belt. Go ahead and get your belt out here, and then we're gonna go ahead and tackle this mechanical fan clutch. You're gonna need 2 half-inch wrenches. I recommend you do that first before removing the belt, just so that pulley doesn't slip around on you right here, so that way you can get to it pretty easily. What you'd probably start with is removing this bumper. It's gonna give you better access. Like I said, guys, I'm literally gonna have to cut mine because he welded it right there, some on the back side. There's like 1 bolt in it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and remove this fan clutch. It's right here. And then we'll go ahead and get the serpentine belt pulled off. All the hoses. Basically anything that connects to anything is what you're going to want to remove. Get you up on time lapse and we'll see it. These things suck to get at. I mean, it's not super terrible, but it's, if you've done a couple of them, you don't like messing around with it. You avoid it as much as possible. absolutely in the way. Fans in the way, the AC's in the way, pulleys in the way, it's all in the way. And then with my luck, I'm gonna end up dropping the nut straight into the, yeah. This is my luck. Do it all the time. Should, unless this thing is absolutely rust seized on here, able to kind of wiggle this back and forth, kind of get it to come off. It appears that either mine is rust seized or it doesn't want to come off. Go ahead and take your pry bar, slip that thing down in there to the shaft, and hammer. Tap on it. There we go. Now it's starting to work itself off. There we go. Should just come off just like that. Alright, once you stop dripping, should be able to go ahead and remove the two hose clamps that are on this thing. You can go ahead and pull this radiator out. Basically, upper radiator hose, lower radiator hose, and this whole unit should just pull right on out of here, and the only thing you're left with is the AC condenser. Pull right on out of here just like that. That's what we're gonna go ahead and do. Upper heater hose right here. The other one, go ahead and remove these two. There is 3 bolts. Basically spin this pulley to line up with the bolts that are back here for the power steering pump, because that's gonna be staying with the Jeep, and the AC is gonna be staying with the Jeep. Both of those are gonna have to pull over to the side here. And then you're just gonna go ahead and remove your throttle bracket and all that. Basically any vacuum line that you see that is connected to this thing has to be pulled off. So the one for the brake booster, she's gotta go just like that. All your little connectors. If you can go ahead, if you got one of those tools, you can go ahead and pull off this fuel line that's right here. If not, you're gonna have to pull out the whole rail and set it over to the side here. There's a couple connectors down here if you got a cool pack. On the underside and the very back here, there's a plug. It's probably about yay big that you're gonna have to pull off. There's also one right here that you're gonna have to remove for your cam sensor. And then there's a couple of grounds, just like a 1/2 inch nut on both of them. Remove all that, and then basically just any plug that you see that's connected to the engine. Don't forget about the ones that are down here for your O2 sensors. That can all go. That can all go. All these injectors, they have to be pulled off just like that. This one's for your throttle position sensor. And then this one is for your idle air control valve. I'm about to get a pair of pliers to get that. 2 10 mils that are right here that hold on your throttle bracket. And you can just pull these off the side here, just like that. Like I said, that's just what we're gonna go ahead and do. I'll catch up to y'all on time lapse. Give me back my socket now. Come back and hit me in the teeth. I'm gonna just leave that for right now. I'll bring you all over here so y'all can see a little better. 2 bolts, 2 bolts, thread all the way down, really long ones. Y'all can see that little junction I was talking about right down there for all your grounds and whatnot. You got your 2 connectors down there. Well, 3 alive, I'm sorry. One for the oil pressure, like that. Another one for your cam sensor. Push that and pull. And then another one to pull this harness back. Literally right there. Alright guys, I went ahead and got this AC removed here real quick. Went ahead and got that condenser up and out of the way. Pulled off the wiring harness and everything that I think I got unclipped. Go ahead and start removing them grounds that are down there, and then there's one up here on the side of the block. Alright, so this should be a 13 mil. Looks like I'm going to have to get a way shorter socket. Oh, me. That's 1. And that's 2. Let's go ahead and drop them down there. Well, that ain't gonna work. Right size socket. Let's try a 12 mil. Oh, let's just have to go ahead for the 12. I mean for the 10, excuse me. See if that'll get on there. Oh. Alright, so it must be like an 11. Go ahead and pull that nut off. Alrighty, after that, should be just a couple little quick disconnects here. Go ahead and get rid of that. Looks like, is there another ground back there? Nope. Okay. Sorry guys for the fidgeting, but I don't know what all that stuff is. Guess I'll have to go up under and check it out. Alrighty. Alright, so that's an extension harness for your O2 sensor. Went all the way up through here. And that's just for your rear O2 sensor that's right here. So this one is right behind the T-case. And then you got your pin. It's right here for your speedo. You can go ahead and disconnect that. Because this is a manual, let's go ahead and got your slave cylinders right here. And this was an auto, so that's why you're seeing a lot of stuff that's in here. But man, there's a lot of dirt shoved up in this cross member. But yeah, it's got a poor man's slip yoke eliminator. If y'all don't know how to do that, I might make a video on it. Yeah, let me see if I can pull that harness up. Obviously, I know I got to remove the starter and whatnot. That's all down here. Let's see if we can pull this harness up. There we go. That's what it was. It's holding me back. So basically, this entire engine harness, you can go ahead and pull all the way out. I need to go ahead and undo this plug real quick. There we go. Alright. See if we can pull this harness all the way out. Sorry about the camera, guys. Let's go ahead and see if we can pull the rest of this off. 72 wires of fucking junk. If you plan on keeping your harness, don't do it this way. There you go. Here's your engine harness on the ground. Man, tell you what, that already looks better. Let me show y'all. Not so much spaghetti. Go ahead and get this junk out of here. Boom. There's a couple of stuff we're gonna go ahead and clean up and take care of. These rock lights were put in here pretty crudely. Just fucking butt connectors. Which I'm a fan of self-tappers. I am. But come on, like you could have done a little bit better. Like than this. Like at least try to hide some of your work. I mean, not like it's that crazy of a process to put wires on this stuff, guys. I mean, like for real. Red cable as a ground. That's always good. So you burn your rig down before you even get started, to make sure you don't have a project. I think that's all the wiring that we need. This is all your body harness and stuff that's right here. So all these grounds. So whenever you're putting this back together, I'm assuming that you would need these two grounds right here to function everything. I could be wrong. I'll find out the hard way and y'all will be able to know for sure that is in fact the way it's supposed to work. When we get this thing out, my plan is to go ahead and pressure wash this whole entire engine bay. I might end up painting it black or something. Like, there is just dirt and grease and grime and stuff everywhere. And we're not going for show quality, but you know, we can at least clean some of this stuff up, get this mess out of here. Like, I don't know for sure or not if I'm keeping the AC or how to quite make all that all work yet. We're making our own motor mounts, because you can buy the ones from like Novak and all them, but they're super expensive. And from what I've read on the forums, with the truck intake sitting on here, you won't be able to use your stock hood the way it is.